Chris is in Richmond. Chris, what do you reckon?
Hello, James. Well, I mean, I've got a concern about international travel, right? A lot of people worried about the skiing holidays. I've got a more fundamental problem. My daughters haven't seen their grandmother in close to a year. They lost their granddad over in Argentina 18 months ago. They've got cousins they haven't seen. Yes. And my daughter, if she doesn't go this Christmas, this could be her only opportunity in the next 2 years, because they're going to go into winter, opposite cycle. They may end up shutting down again. And this is a really important window of opportunity for people. And I think it's a little bit tried just to talk about turkey dinners. For some people, it is really important for their mental well-being. My daughter's already having meltdowns at the prospect of not going. You know, it's affecting her education, her concentration.
It's a trade-off, isn't it, though? Because I'm sure... And obviously,
but if you come back, but if we...
You know her a lot better than I do. But if she were, for example, to be an asymptomatic carrier of COVID-19 and she gave it to her vulnerable grandmother as a result of a Christmas visit, I'm pretty sure that would have a fairly hefty mental toll as well, no?
Well, I agree, but we can do a test before, we can do a test afterwards. We're not going to stay with my mother-in-law initially. But even coming back, we would follow the rules. We'll self-isolate. They won't go to school. I guess the point is that there are things you can do to stop that.
But you know that not going to school will take a toll on her mental health as well. That was one of the main reasons why the government was so keen to avoid closing schools the second time round.
Well, I agree. But if you knew my daughter, I'd love to have her on the show, because actually for her, she, missing a week of school, she does home learning. She would find that a trade-off she could cope with versus not seeing her family for another year.
And that's why we can't have a separate set of rules for each individual person, isn't it? We can only have rules for the entire country. Otherwise, everybody has the ability to plead special circumstances.
No, and that's a fair point, James. I get that, but I guess
it's not really a fair point. It's a statement of fact, Chris.
Well, I know, but I understand.
Inalienable, irrefutable fact.
But I think it is. You're right, but I'm saying that if you take the precautions, that if you self-isolate and you test, and you do the right thing to minimise the risk. Otherwise, you might not see that person ever again.
Which is a horrible thought, but the rules are there for a reason, and they're not there to be broken.
Well, no, but I accept that. But at the moment...
Well, you don't, do you, mate?
No, what I'm trying to say is, in this country, right, going up to see a family member in Newcastle, Leeds is an easy thing to do, right? If once the lockdown's lifted, we can go. Going to another country where you have to fly 13 hours, make sure they can let you in the first place, is an awful lot more complicated. We have a very narrow window of opportunity. And if people...
No, I sympathise. I sympathise, and I feel for you. But the countries that have managed to really keep a lid on this virus are the countries that have curtailed foreign travel way more than we have. Full stop.
Well, they have, but I mean, the reality
there's no but after that, Chris. I feel for you, and I feel for your daughter, but the countries that have managed to get a lid on coronavirus are the countries that have gone furthest in curtailing foreign travel. So there's no comeback on
Australia. Well, you say that, but Australia had to go into, and Melbourne had to go into a big lockdown because they...
And how many deaths had they had when they took that decision, Chris?
Well, I couldn't give you the precise number, but what they did...
Well, you have to in order to even have the semblance of a point.
No, but the point. Can I finish? The point is that they had a hostel or hotels where people were supposed to be isolating, and apparently, according to one of my colleagues in my company who works in Sydney, the person, one of the guards, started sleeping with people in those hotels.
What do you think that proves? That's someone breaking the rules. You're here to tell me why you think you should be able to break the rules, and you've ended up using in your defence somebody who broke the rules even more egregiously than you want to. How does that even work? Just pause a bit before you respond, because that's what you just did.
I'm not saying...
No, seriously, just pause a bit.
Well, I'm not saying we should break the rules. What I'm saying... No, I'm not. I'm saying that for people to visit family abroad, if they're able to do it in this country, I'm saying if they're able to travel within this country... There should be no reason why people shouldn't be able to travel internationally provided by the rules and self-isolate.
Well, except for the fact that the countries that have got the tightest lid on coronavirus are the countries that had the most stringent regulations on foreign travel. I mean, we're going round in circles. All I'm doing is telling you facts. And in defence of your position, you started citing the case of some sexually incontinent Australian security guard that a colleague in Sydney told you about.
Well, okay, fine. You're right. We can.
So just take care, have a think, and you'll realise that it's not an exchange of views. It's you saying stuff, and then me just reminding you of proven facts, demonstrable facts. And you really need to look up what the situation was in Melbourne when they went into full quarantine, because you've ended up unintentionally, mate, making an argument for much, much more stringent rules than the ones you currently think are too strict.